Alright, so tonight, or last night, depending on when you're seeing this now, decently wild night of basketball. I want to start with the Jazz. They lost again, with Luka not playing, and if you want to look at Jalen Brunson's highlights, who's ever on him, Conley, Mitchell, Clarkson, Bogdanovich, Royce O'Neal, Rudy was switched onto him at least like once or twice, and he made a shot over him. He did pretty much whatever he wanted to do. And, of course, we still got your classic perimeter defense breakdown. Gobert slides over corner three or whatever. There was one play where Gobert was not covering Josh Green, so Green flipped it and set a screen for Bertans. That led to an open three. There was one where they did a similar thing with Reggie Bullock because Gobert was on him as well. So even as I do not roast Gobert, as I'm sure a decent chunk of Twitter is, I also acknowledge the dude is not perfect, even if the biggest problem is still the perimeter defense, in my opinion. They did have some minutes without Rudy in this one. I think he played like 29 minutes, as in they went small. It did open up the offense a bit, no doubt. It allowed them to get like some easier stuff in possessions, but defensively, like there's still possessions of them getting cooked by Brunson or Dinwiddie. It's just now Gobert's not in the game. Clearly the individual perimeter defense is not good enough. Whether you could double team more, whether the rotations could be better. I mean, there was one play where Clarkson got beat and then he just ran to the corner, as in the guy who Rudy left. And then that guy ended up getting a three because Bertans set a screen on the baseline to just kind of form a barrier. I think it was like Bullock or something. I don't remember exactly who, but it just seems like Dallas has got them figured out, and Luka's not even out there, so yeah. Finney-Smith had a three late. It was your classic, just guy gets beat, Rudy slides over. And they tried to split the difference thing again with Bogdanovich. And the closeout, like, it's okay, but it's just not good enough. If we can move on to the Wolves and the Grizzlies, what the hell was this? The Wolves opened up the game with so much defensive energy. Patrick Beverley picking up Ja Morant at half court. D'Angelo Russell ripped Ja one time when they doubled him up top, or they trapped him, whatever it was. You had Karl Anthony Towns playing real high on screens. Wolves swarming in the middle of the floor. And the Grizzlies' offense was massively overwhelmed. So, like, they had no answers besides Desmond Bane going like 5 for 8 from 3 in the first half. But then the Grizzlies brought in Brandon Clark, who just awakened something in the offense, and suddenly it's more stuff around the dunker spot. He's setting screens for Ja Morant early in possessions. He got him a couple of offensive boards, and I mean, that's what they're giving up when they're pulling Steven Adams for the sake of guarding Towns, right? Kyle Anderson also grabbed a huge offensive rebound off of a Ja missed free throw that led to a Tyus Jones 3. Besides those, though, I thought the biggest adjustment with the Grizzlies' offense, besides, again, Brandon Clark, who gave him some more dynamic screen setting and stuff, I felt like they just changed the locations in which Ja began the offense, because early on it was like screen, top of the key. Obviously it's more than that, but it's a decent amount of that. And the Wolves were just very ready for that. So then it became, all right, we'll run 2 screens for Ja with wings on either side of him, similar to a horn set, if you will. Or we'll have Ja on the opposite elbow of Desmond Bane, who has the ball. Desmond Bane drives in a little bit, then gets it to Ja. Anthony Edwards is off balance, then Ja can drive in on him. They had a super gutsy 3 from Tyus Jones with Jaden McDaniels in his face at the end of a possession. Dylan Brooks hit that one at the top of the key over Towns that pretty much ended the game. That was just a sidestep. Nothing really happened on offense for them there. And then you had the Wolves offense, which was very bad in the fourth quarter. I believe they shot 15% from the field, and I mean, some of it is a couple of shots that they'd feel okay about. A couple of Malik Beasley threes. There was a D'Lo 3 at the top of the key that didn't go in, and yeah, you're going to miss some shots sometimes. But the biggest thing was that they just couldn't get anything at the rim, and it's because the Grizzlies were content with giving up some of those shots, and sometimes you're just going to benefit off of dudes missing. But you know, there was a play they ran in the fourth. It was a screen with Towns, and it got him a switch against, I think it was like Dylan Brooks, and he just rose over him, easy 19-footer for Towns, and that was it for Towns being featured in the fourth quarter. There was one other possession where Towns drove on Clark, and Jaren Jackson left Vanderbilt in the corner. Desmond Bane slid down so Vanderbilt wasn't just wide open under the rim. Towns throws it out to Edwards from at the wing, and you just get a great closeout from Bane as well as Brandon Clark to make sure the shot doesn't fall. How do you get the ball to Towns more? Well, for one, you can just straight up try to post him up and have him go at Brandon Clark or Jaren Jackson, whoever it's going to be, if you just believe he can win that matchup. Granted, they tried that once and he committed an offensive foul on Brandon Clark in the fourth quarter. And then the other thing would be, and this can coincide with the post-ups, is having him move off ball. Now, the one thing here is the Grizzlies, with Steven Adams not out there, they might feel a little more adventurous in switching, and then it might lead to a double team because they're just faster all around. So I'm not saying any of this would be easy, but Karl Anthony Towns should probably be taking some shots in Game 3 of the round 1 of the playoffs. I mean, I get it. The dude's spacing is very valuable, and he's going to open up looks for other guys, sometimes by just simply standing there, but he's also got to get some shots. But yeah, I was setting up to be like, well, Grizzlies down 2-1, let's see if they've got it in them, and well, this is what happened. Also, just no more Edwards-Towns two-man game, we've just given up on that idea. Anyway, Warriors, Nuggets. Hey, listen, man, once the Nuggets get eliminated, I'll do a video talking about them for the offseason. Probably going to mention Jamal Murray and MPJ a couple times. The Bulls-Bucks Game 3 is suddenly very interesting with Chris Middleton missing, at least 2 weeks, so they're just not going to have him at all for the rest of this round. The Giannis-Drew pick and rolls are going to have to be a thing, and I'm not saying this in a bad way. I think it'll be effective. It's just the Middleton-Giannis screen is like their real go-to thing. Are they going to have to lean on Brook Lopez at all for a little bit more scoring? Also, the DeRozan going 8 for 9 against Giannis on pull-up mid-rangers in that last game. The thing with that is, Giannis, he can get a good contest up top, or at least a good-looking contest, but he wasn't able to disrupt DeRozan's flow at all on those shots. I think Wesley Matthews and Drew had a little bit of a better time doing it. We'll see if Caruso locks up Drew, and we will see if Giannis continues to take his 7-foot strides through Vooch and Patrick Williams and Javonte Green and whoever else is going to be providing help defense. It should be a fun Game 3. But really, that Middleton injury could end up being huge, similar to the Devin Booker hamstring. Hamstrings are weird. You think it's cool, then before you know it, a guy's out for an extra 2 weeks. I could see the Pelicans getting another win versus the Suns without Booker, but I would pick the Suns at the most in 6 games. But then after that, if you're getting, we'll say, Luka and the Mavs in round 2, you're probably going to need Devin Booker.